Hello, my name is Wes Uehara. I am the UCLA Engineering Student Organization Coordinator, and today I'm here to present on the Student Creativity Center, or the SCC, and the tenants who will occupy that space in academic year 2022 to 2023, as well as 2023 through 2024. That was a bit of a tongue twister. Okay, so a little bit of history and overview. The SCC opened in 2012. It's located primarily on the second floor of Bolter Hall, and its purpose was to provide our community with a technological sandbox, a place where we can create, design, re-engineer devices and gadgets of our imagination. Okay, during the academic year, it's largely focused on providing a space for our student design teams or organizations that are engaged in technical design work. And during the summer, this space is available for our formal outreach programs and activities like the Engineering 96 courses and any bridge programs. Okay. The Student Creativity Center has expanded over the years. The initial year, we started off with 5 years and 1 meeting space in Bolter 2730. We expanded in 2015 to add 5 additional rooms and 1 additional meeting space. In 2016, they added the courtyard and some storage as a place to store things, but also a multi-purpose event and workspace for our organizations and for the school. Okay. In 2017, they added 4 additional rooms, but they took 1 back to create the makerspace. And then this past year, we acquired 2 additional rooms, and I'll talk a little bit more about that through this presentation. We do have a website. It's not quite updated yet, but it will be before the start of the academic year if you're interested in reviewing some of this information later on. All right, so this is a schematic of the Student Creativity Center space on the second floor of Bolter Hall. And so phase 1 is here, and you can see the organization assignments. Phase 2 was here. Phase 3 included the courtyard and the garages, and then this is phase 4. As I mentioned, new to this year that we acquired some new space for student organizations on the 4th floor of Bolter Hall. Okay, so I'm going to next announce the current tenants, and these tenants will remain in these spaces for the next 2 full academic years. Okay, so in 2730 A and B, Bruin Racing, you'll retain that space. There's been some changes with 2730 C. ASCE and ASME are going to be sharing that space and primarily focused at providing a space for projects that need access to a sink. Okay. AIAA, you'll retain 2730D. ASCE will remain in 2745 as their primary location. And ASME will be moving their primary location to 2763. Okay. IEEE, you will retain 2825, as well as Buren Home Solutions and REA in 2821. MRS and ACES Barrowspace, you'll be in 2817. And Bruin Racing, you will retain your garages 1, 2, and 3. Okay, moving to the next chart, our table here. Tri-org, which includes ACES, NESB, and SOLAS, you'll be moving to 2416. In 2432, we have AKI and BMES. In 2438A Beam, we will be providing half of this space for you to store your items. There are plans to add another organization to this space, so please don't grow into that room and occupy all of it. 2438B will be for Engineers Without Borders, Phi Sigma Rho, and Society for Women Engineers. Our newest rooms on the 4th floor is where ACM will be in 4801 and 4685, and I think 4816 is a storage closet. But I wanted to acknowledge that here, just as an example of how the school has really worked to try to expand the spaces for the student organizations. And so it is important for you guys to communicate with us your needs from year to year. Things will happen. And so ACM is moving upstairs, and we like to inform everyone of that so that they know so that you know where to find them and that we can go and visit them in their new space. Okay, all right, so this is the assignments. So things to do for SCC tenants. First and foremost, let's do a fall cleaning and get rid of the things that you don't need. This is kind of a hard task because there's some things that, are sort of fun to hold on to. I kind of use the guidance of if it wasn't used in the previous year, then you probably don't need it. And there's only a certain amount of like historical things that you can keep for prosperity. And really as a guiding principle, the less items that are taking up space for storage means that you have more space to be able to use for your activities. So, work together to do that fall cleaning. I would like to ask all of the SEC tenants to notify your members that all items in the second floor Bolter Hall courtyard, that's the outdoor space next to Bruin Racing, the 2730 meeting space, which is the middle room in that part of the Student Creativity Creativity Center, as well as anything outside of the SCC rooms will be thrown away on Friday, September 23rd. And so you do have between now and then to make sure that you're moving items back into your room or, discarding them or making sure that it goes back to its owners. Okay, so please help us out by emailing your members to notify them that we will be cleaning the sort of public spaces out and around the Student Creativity Center. And by Friday, September 23rd, that items will be thrown away, okay? You will need to complete and submit your Student Creativity Center space utilization terms and conditions. There's a list of rules and guidelines that organizations need to adhere to that you have to agree to and by signing and submitting your form. Okay, so the form needs to be signed by your organization, faculty advisor, and your department, unless you're a school-wide organization like SWE or EWB. Okay. In addition to that, there are a number of furnishings in this SCC that are actually owned by the school. Okay, and as a part of the terms and conditions, your organization, when they moved into their space, indicated an agreement to make sure that these items do not walk away and that you would care for them and not damage it. Okay, and so I'm going to switch views here. This is a list of the inventory with some pictures, and the link is provided here. And you'll see that each of the items has a room number and a quantity of items per room. Okay, my hunch is that some of these furnishings have moved from one room to the other. Okay, so I'd like you all to work together to account for all the SCC furnishings that's supposed to be in your room. Okay, and then to create a list, maybe one list of all of the items that are missing. Okay, I'll speak a little bit more about this at the lab and space safety training. But for now, take a look at this inventory and start looking around to try to see what is actually in your room, and then perhaps go and investigate with the other organizations to see if things have been moved. Okay. The next thing, reminder to make sure that your officers, your lab manager, and or project leads are attending the lab and space safety training on September 8th. This is required for all engineering student organizations. However, a lot of what we're covering in the lab and space safety training is going to be completely relevant for organizations that reside in the Student Creativity Center. And in order to help with the dissemination of that information, it would be helpful for you to ask, not just one officer to attend that lab and space safety training, but really anybody who is doing technical activities with tools, working with chemicals and materials, they really should be attending that training. Okay, so action item is to send this out to your officers and lab managers and project leads to make sure that they can attend. The next thing that you can start working on is you will be asked to request that your faculty advisors do a walkthrough of your space before and in preparation for the EH&S safety inspections that will happen a couple of weeks into fall quarter. Okay. And the whole idea with this is to help your faculty advisor, see your setup in your room, ask them if there's anything that, is out of compliance, and then to talk to them about the activities and or materials and chemicals that are housed within your room so that they can provide you some guidance, right, on how you should be doing things. Okay, so reach out to your faculty advisors and see if you can schedule a walkthrough of the space with those items as an outcome in week 1 of the fall quarter. Okay, all right, so there's more that needs to be done for Student Creativity Center tenants, but this is where I'm going to leave things, and I will be covering more details at the lab and space safety training on September 8th. And I think that concludes my presentation. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out through email. And thanks and have a great day.